The rise of the electric car is a chance for change. Loud engines morph into near-silent motors, fuel stations become charging pods, and family SUVs suddenly deliver the acceleration that was previously the reserve of only the fastest supercars. But it's not just about physical change. The manufacturers, it's also about perception.
You know when it comes to December the 31st and you think, yeah, new year, new me. It's an opportunity to reinvent ourselves and forget the past. Maybe move to a different country where the weather is better. You can be leaner, greener, faster, more premium. And those are all things, actually, that car companies want to be known for. And the introduction of the electric car has allowed them to change the narrative.
Take Kia, for example. Its reputation is based on well-priced, reliable family cars, yet the EV6 looks to continue the work of the Stinger saloon by bringing things up a notch. Make no mistake, this is a proper rival for Polestar, Audi, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, and of course, Tesla.
Now, part of the reason that the EV6 is considered a true rival for electric car royalty, such as the Tesla Model 3 and the Tesla Model Y, is because of what's under the skin. Every EV6 has a 77 kilowatt battery, but more importantly, there's also an 800 volt electrical architecture, which means that should you find one of the ultra fast chargers in the UK, such as the ones at the GridServe Braintree site where we are now, you can charge this car from 0 to 80% in around 18 minutes, or roughly 60 miles for every 5 minutes. And I've got to say, it's a good thing that the bays here are nice and big, because although it might not look it on your TV screens, this is roughly the same length and the same width as an Audi Q5. And how's this for green car credentials? Every EV6 has 107 500 milliliter plastic bottles in the construction. So every time you recycle your used bottle of Coca-Cola, it goes into making a Kia electric car.
To these eyes, the EV6 looks every bit the premium SUV, what with its imposing dimensions, distinctive front end and tapered rear. Together with the brand spanking Kia logo, you'd be hard pressed to differentiate it from traditionally more opulent rivals. And thankfully, this perception is more than just skin deep.
Now, one of the first things you might think of when it comes to electric cars is range, and this EV6 has up to 328 miles if you go for the rear-wheel drive version. If you go for the all-wheel drive version, like we've got here, it's got a little bit less, which is 314 miles. Now, when I got into it this morning, and it's a pretty cold October morning in the UK, very common, it was showing about 280 miles. So obviously that claimed range figure will be dependent on what the weather's like and a number of other factors. But the most important thing is how that range goes down. And in every other electric car I've driven, including Teslas, including the Porsche Taycan, the range has gone down faster than the miles I've actually done, especially when we do these kind of videos where we're accelerating hard and often past the camera and then going back again. It's never that accurate. But in this, it's been extremely accurate. Another good thing about having the range stay nice and accurate is that it means you can enjoy the electric car performance without having to worry about decimating the amount of miles you've got. So again, with the rear-wheel drive, you've got 226 brake horsepower. With this, the all-wheel drive version, that increases to 321. Now, there is going to be a range-topping GT version coming in, I think, the end of 2022, and that's going to have over 500 brake horsepower and be a proper rival to, for example, the Taycan 4S. But with this, it kind of feels like we've reached a point now where the electric car that they're bringing out is still super quick. I mean, this will leave behind most hot hatches, but it's not neck-snappingly quick because it doesn't need to be. That was almost like an attention-grabbing thing when they first came around, and now the performance feels a little bit better judged. As I said, this is rapid, but it's not going to take your head off. And part of that, again, is down to the weight. It doesn't mind pushing the rear around to help it go through corners. The steering is perhaps a little bit light and a bit vague if you really want to drive it like an enthusiast, but otherwise it's actually quite well judged. And something else as well is that they've made it handle well and also ride well with just passive dampers. They're not adaptive. You need to wait until the aforementioned GT versions come along to get the adaptive suspension. But honestly, do you need it? I mean, it'll probably make it a bit better because it is slightly firmer than the Hyundai Ioniq 5, but I mean, I'm nitpicking. This is a good ride quality. And I've also got to say that the brake pedal is well judged. It's not too grabby, even with the regenerative braking. And actually, you can have a proper one pedal setup with this, using the paddles on the back of the wheel, and you can shortcut to the highest regeneration setting so that you can genuinely drive it with just the accelerator. But it can do both. It's actually, quite nicely judged. You do notice the wind noise when you get up to speed because it's not quite got the levels of refinement of, for example, the most expensive electric cars out there. But again, it's a nice compromise and it's by no means loud or overbearing, even on these larger alloy wheels. Weirdly, the cabin in this actually feels a little bit more enclosed than it does in Hyundai's Ioniq 5. So I quite like this steering wheel, which has almost got the square bottom from like a 1960s American Plymouth or something like that. It feels a bit like an American car steering wheel. But then the dashboard design, all the controls, they're in super easy reach, yet there's still plenty of space underneath because of course there's no transmission tunnel. The infotainment system is the standard Kia fare, so it works even if it's not quite the sharpest. But I do like this digital dash display because it gives you all the crucial information, it seems, without any of the unnecessary stuff. So I've got my range, it tells me how many miles I've got the speed, and I also, usefully on this top spec model, we've got the cameras on the mirrors which show you when you indicate what the view behind you is. So it's like a more advanced blind spot monitoring system, and it actually works really well. It's not distracting.
But the EV6 is one of those cars that makes a very big impact on what people think a Kia is. Yes, I'm sure it'll be reliable and it's well equipped, and actually it's pretty good value all things considered. But it's also an example of how quickly the car world is bringing its electric A-game.
The so-called premium car makers have had a good head start when it comes to making flagship electric cars, but something tells me that because of models like the EV6, they're not going to have it so easy in the next few years. Simply turning up just isn't enough anymore. The only thing that would perhaps stop you from seriously considering one of these is, well, up there. That's it.